Welcome. Today I'm going to talk about something that I experienced a couple of weeks ago and I've been playing with for the last couple of weeks, trying to figure out how it impacted my form and my pushing hands and even to some extent just my daily life. So I was going through the form and I was nice and relaxed, I was doing the breathing and I was focusing on my posture and my connection to the floor. And as I was going through, I noticed there was a slight discrepancy on my left side compared to my right side. And that slight discrepancy has actually started building up and giving me a tiny bit of knee pain just above the kneecap. So I've been focusing on that a lot to try and figure out where that's coming in from and what is different between my right hand side and the left hand side as I'm going through the form. And what I discovered was such a tiny change, but it has made such a profound difference to my form and the pushing hands practice. So that actually got me thinking, like, how often is it that you're going through the form and you change one little bit, tiny little thing, and that changes everything in how you respond to the form and your pushing hands. And so I'm going to share with you what that tiny change was. You may or you may not be able to see the difference, but I can tell you this had a profound difference on my form and the correctness of it and how it feels when I'm stood, how my connection to the floor has improved, my rooting. And so let's just discuss what this tiny change is, okay? So I'm going to show you with the left side going forward first so you can see my left hip side. Just tuck my shirt in, maybe this will help pronounce it a little bit more. Okay. So as I come down and relax. Okay, this is how I used to go down like this. And then come forward there. And then come back. So that's how I used to do it, and this is the change. So just pay close attention to my hips here and the roll. What I found was I need to actually roll my hips under ever so slightly more, just a fraction. So now, as I come down, keeping my hips rolled under. As I come forward, keeping my hips rolled under. And that relaxation in the middle, just making sure my hips are rolled just that fraction further. And as it comes forward, keeping that tucked under, not allowing it to drop back in just a tiny bit. If you try this yourself and feel the pressure in your leg, feel which muscles are actually holding it, you'll see if you just drop that back slightly, the pressure drops a lot lower on the leg. And if you tuck that back under and relax, you can get the pressure to drop a lot higher up. So I think that is the cause of the knee problems I've been having, slightly. But what I also found was that when I started practicing this and I moved on to the pushing hands, wow, my rooting just took a massive improvement overnight. It was insane. So that's been fascinating to play with. And then the other night I was walking around barefoot in the kitchen and I noticed I'm actually walking differently now. So how I used to walk, it's like I didn't even consciously make that change, but clearly there's some physical connection to the floor that I now feel a bit different as I'm walking around barefoot. To give you an example, I used to walk around in the kitchen, toes down, so toes down then heel, nice and soft. What I found myself doing more recently is placing my heel down and feeling that connection without even really thinking about it. I was just walking around and feeling that much more connected feeling to the ground. So that's just a little bit interesting on how much just one change in the form has influenced everything. So the question to you guys is, have you had that feeling yourselves? if you have, yeah, how often do you find that amazing? And for me, I find these small changes are the joy of doing the form. They're what make doing the form amazing, as opposed to just doing it by rote every day. Same thing in, same thing out, no difference. If you're making these tiny changes, then the form suddenly becomes enjoyable, because now you've got this whole new aspect to play with all throughout the whole form. And it just makes it, it's like, yes, really, really fantastic to do. So I'll leave you with that thought. Please comment below if you've had any breakthroughs like that yourself. Let me know.